What if the exhaustion dragging you down is not from working too hard? What if it comes from spending your entire life pretending to be someone you are not? You open your eyes each morning and immediately put on a heavy armor. You check your phone. You answer the messages. You perform your daily tasks perfectly. You smile when the room requires a smile. You nod when agreement is expected. You are highly functional. You keep everything from falling apart. But when you finally close the door at the end of the day, a crushing emptiness waits for you in the center of the room. You are doing everything right, yet you feel entirely disconnected from your own heartbeat. You do not feel alive. You feel like a machine programmed to imitate a living person. This is the quiet despair of merely surviving. You have lived this way for so long that you think it is normal. You think this gray numbness is simply the price of growing up. You assume everyone walks around carrying this invisible weight, but they do not. And deep down, you know this is not how a human life is supposed to feel. You know you are suffocating slowly in plain sight. You sit in your car before walking into your home. The engine is off, the street is quiet, and for 10 minutes, you just stare at the dashboard. You stay there because you cannot bear to transition into the next role you have to play. You stay there because in that small, silent box, nothing is expected of you. But even in that silence, you are not resting. Your shoulders are tight, your breathing is shallow. You are simply waiting for the strength to put the mask back on. This is what happens when you treat your own existence as a problem to be managed. You stop looking for joy. You start looking for safety. You organize your days around avoiding failure. You organize your conversations around avoiding conflict. You shape your personality to become as convenient as possible for everyone around you. You become the reliable one, the strong one, the one who never asks for help, the one who can handle anything. But what is left of you when the performance is over? Who are you when no one is watching? You cannot answer that question anymore, because you have spent years erasing your true self just to keep the peace. Søren Kierkegaard observed this exact tragedy. In his work, The Sickness Unto Death, Kierkegaard identified a condition that plagues modern life. He called it despair. But he did not mean sadness or crying in a dark room. He said the most dangerous form of despair is the kind where you do not even know you are in it. It is the despair of not wanting to be yourself. It is the despair of trying to become a completely different person just to satisfy the expectations of the crowd. Kierkegaard argued that you lose your soul not by committing terrible crimes, but by quietly conforming to the demands of society. You shave off the edges of your personality. You hide your true desires. You silence your authentic voice, all to fit into a mold that was never designed for you. And society rewards you for this surrender. It calls you successful. It calls you mature. But inside, you are disappearing. You feel it in your bones. You feel the quiet despair of merely surviving. You wake up tired. You go to sleep tired. Your mind races constantly, trying to predict what will go wrong next. You plan for every disaster. You rehearse conversations in your head before they happen. You review conversations after they happen, searching for any mistake you might have made. You are entirely trapped in your own head. You are entirely severed from the present moment. When was the last time you did something simply because you loved it? When was the last time you felt a sudden, spontaneous burst of laughter that you did not have to force? You cannot remember. Your entire life force is being consumed by the act of adaptation. You are spending all your psychological energy trying to maintain an illusion. But you cannot maintain it forever. The cracks are beginning to show. You lose your temper over tiny inconveniences. You feel an urge to cry for no logical reason. You want to cancel every plan and disappear into a dark room. You think these are signs that you are breaking down. You think you are failing, but you are not failing. This exhaustion is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that your true self is finally refusing to stay quiet. Your soul is demanding to be heard. It is telling you that the life you are living is too small for you. It is telling you that the mask is suffocating the skin beneath it. You are feeling anxious because your unconscious mind knows you are living a lie. Kierkegaard saw this anxiety not as a mental illness, but as a crucial awakening. He saw it as the dizziness of freedom. Your anxiety means you are finally becoming aware that you have a choice. You do not have to keep playing this character. You do not have to remain trapped in the quiet despair of merely surviving. You are standing on the edge of a cliff, looking down at the vast possibilities of who you could actually be. The dizziness you feel is the terrifying realization that you hold the power to change everything. If you are tired of living as a ghost in your own life, pause for a moment. Stop running from the silence. If this truth is speaking directly to your condition, tell me. Go to the comments right now and write, "I choose myself." Leave those 3 words as a physical record that you are done hiding. To escape this mechanical existence, you must make a radical shift. In his book Either/Or, Kierkegaard explained that you must move from merely distracting yourself to taking ultimate responsibility for your own life. He called this choosing the ethical over the aesthetic. The aesthetic life is what you are doing now. You distract yourself with endless work. You numb yourself with entertainment. You scroll through your phone to avoid sitting alone with your thoughts. You float from one day to the next, letting other people dictate your value. You avoid making any real choices, hoping life will just happen to you without too much pain. But to truly live, you must step into the ethical life. You must choose to become the author of your own existence. You must take responsibility for your true self, with all its flaws, all its fears, and all its untamed desires. How do you do this in practice? You start by stopping the performance. You stop answering questions with what you think the other person wants to hear. If you are tired, you say you are tired. If you do not want to attend the event, you decline without inventing a complex lie. You stop trying to manage everyone else's emotional state. Their disappointment is not your responsibility. Their anger is not yours to carry. You have spent your whole life acting as a shock absorber for the world. It is time to let the world carry its own weight. You must also learn to sit in the quiet. The silence terrifies you, because the silence is where the repressed parts of you begin to speak. The anger you swallowed, the grief you buried, the dreams you abandoned because they were not practical. When the room gets quiet, all these buried things knock on the door. You usually run to the television or the phone to drown them out. Stop running. Let them knock. Open the door. Let the grief wash over you. Let the anger burn. These emotions are not your enemies. They are the parts of your life force that you locked in the basement. You will never feel fully alive until you invite them back into the house. You must stop proving that you deserve to exist. You treat your life like an audition. You think you have to earn your space on this earth by being productive, by being useful, by being endlessly accommodating. But a mountain does not apologize for taking up space. A river does not ask permission to flow. You are a part of nature. Your existence is an absolute fact, not a conditional privilege. You do not need to justify your breath by turning it into a commodity. You do not need to earn your rest. Rest is not a reward for burning yourself out. Rest is the baseline of a healthy soul. The transition will be painful. When you stop playing the role you were assigned, people will push back. They will call you selfish. They will say you have changed. They will miss the version of you that was so easily controlled. Let them miss it. That version of you is dead. You cannot sacrifice your one given life on the altar of someone else's comfort. You cannot remain trapped in the quiet despair of merely surviving just to keep the peace at a dinner table. Take off the heavy armor. It served its purpose. It kept you safe when you were younger and more vulnerable. It helped you navigate difficult environments. But you are not in danger anymore. You are an adult standing in a quiet room, wearing a suit of iron, wondering why it is so hard to move. Take it off. Let the cold air hit your skin. Let yourself be fragile for a moment. Let yourself be entirely unknown. There is an incredible peace waiting for you on the other side of this exhaustion. It is the peace of total authenticity. It is the peace of waking up and knowing that you do not have to act today. You only have to exist. You are not a machine. You are not a character in someone else's play. You are a living, breathing spirit capable of profound depth. Stand up straight. Look directly at the darkness you have been running from. Realize that the darkness holds the key to your freedom. Choose yourself. Choose the terrifying, beautiful responsibility of being exactly who you are. Drop the script, walk off the stage, and for the first time in your life, breathe. If this reached you, leave a like. I read every comment.